Selena Gomez gave a warning about Blake Lively. Travis unfollowed Ryan because he is fed up with the whole drama.
Okay, so Justin Baldoni is suing Disney. I swear to you, the situation gets crazier by the day. Let's get into it. In the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds plays Nice Pool, a feminist bun-wearing man that's a little bit problematic.
And Selena Gomez was one of those people who allegedly warned Taylor about Blake.
All the backlash she was feeling back then was organic. And it just weakens her case every time she steps out of the house pretending to be happy.
Somebody else who is very connected to this reached out and said, Candace, you're 90% there. You're just missing one thing. And I'm beginning to wonder, and listen, full speculation, no proof, for him to go that crazy.
So everything that is happening now comes as no surprise to Selena. Now that Lively is bringing Swift in legal drama, Gomez feels she has been justified. That's really where I think this has come about. So much more evidence has come forward from even Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively themselves that all but confirms that, yes, Ryan used his Nice Pool character in Deadpool and Wolverine to mock Justin Baldoni. So Selena Gomez, what did she say? Well, look, Page Six reported it first, and it's as we all thought. The reason why is because of the It Ends With Us messy legal nightmare. Blake called Taylor her best friend and family, and then asked her to be the godmother of her children, all very smart, manipulative way to get very super famous person to become closer and closer to you. Swift and Lively became friends for over a decade. The cruel summer singer is the godmother of Lively's daughters, James, Inez, Betty, 5, as well as their 2-year-old son, Olin. The loyal people around him that he could trust, not weird snakes like Blake Lively, who wrapped her claws in, which Selena called. We'll get there in a second. I do not believe the articles that try to say Taylor and Blake are fine. They are not fine.
Ryan Friedman has sent a litigation hold letter to Marvel president Kevin Feige, Disney CEO Bob Iger, and Deadpool 1 director Tim Miller. But why? Because Baldoni's lawyer believes that Blake Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, mocked Baldoni in the character Nice Pool.
I guess it was a deleted clip in the film. Way too specific, 100% meant to be a giant FU to Justin. Here's a clip from the film that didn't make the cut.
Yeah, but Merc to Merc, they're crazy. They will chop you up into 1,000 pieces and hide you all over the void.
Justin Baldoni demands Marvel preserve all documents relating to Ryan Reynolds' Nice Pool amid legal battle. Again, this is a litigation hold letter. This is a letter sent by the lawyer to anyone involved in the case.
It began with a whisper. No cameras, no headlines. Just Selena Gomez leaning in backstage, quietly telling Taylor Swift, Blake plays friendship like chess. Guard your queen. Nobody noticed. Why would they? Blake Lively was still Hollywood's golden girl, charming, polished, and effortlessly likable. Taylor called her family. Blake made her the godmother of her kids. Selena? She stepped back and waited. Fast forward to 2025. A $400 million lawsuit explodes. Travis Kelce unfollows Ryan Reynolds and calls the drama toxic. Marvel begs a judge not to drag them into Blake's PR chaos.
However, Gomez wasn't sold on the close relationship. Selena always found this odd, but she let it be. So everything that is happening now comes as no surprise to Selena.
And Taylor? She's nowhere in sight. Now, that quiet warning from Selena doesn't sound bitter. It sounds brilliant. Because this isn't just a friendship fallout, it's a full-blown reputation crisis. From Blake's emotional Time 100 speech to Ryan's stiff, silent red carpet poses, from staged paparazzi walks to legal documents naming dragons, godmothers, and media manipulation, every detail screams damage control. And Selena? She's watching it all unfold, in silence, because sometimes saying, "I told you so," doesn't take words. So how did one subtle red flag become the wrecking ball tearing through Blake Lively's empire? Why are some of the biggest names in Hollywood now ghosting a woman they once called their sister? This is more than drama. It's a collapse. And it's not just burning bridges. It's torching the entire red carpet on the way down. Stay with us, because what happens next might take down more than just Blake. Before headlines glued Swift and Lively together like a luxury brand collab, their friendship seemed sweet, like something out of a Pinterest board. Matching selfies, candid recipes, inside jokes that felt effortless. To the public, adorable.
Now, I suspect, here's my theory, before we get to what Selena said, I suspect if there was anything from a Taylor or somebody, it's, you better win this case. Otherwise, because I don't think Taylor's going to want to be there. If she loses this case, and this looks like Blake lied.
To Selena Gomez, suspicious. She saw something beneath the sparkle. Blake's affection wasn't just warm, it was instant, intense, and a little too perfect. Within a year, Blake was calling Taylor her best friend and chosen family. And before fans could process the first godmother post, she'd made Taylor the godparent of not one, but 3 of her kids, including her newborn son. Swifties cheered. Stan accounts went into meltdown mode, but Selena? She pulled Taylor aside and quietly said, "This feels off. Not mean girl, off. Not jealous ex-friend, off, but strategic. Like every brunch, every baby photo, every interview shout-out was part of a bigger branding play. Because let's be real, what better way to anchor your public image than to permanently attach yourself to the world's most beloved pop star? Selena didn't go public. She didn't shade. She didn't post. She just observed. Because she knows the truth. Friendship doesn't prove itself when everything's filtered and fabulous. It reveals itself when the cracks start showing, when the stakes get high and the PR glitter rubs off.
Selena Gomez was one of those people who allegedly warned Taylor about Blake. And now she's feeling a little bit more like, told you so.
At the time, no one believed her. Gossip blogs brushed it off. Swifties assumed it was classic girl gang loyalty. But to Selena, it wasn't loyalty. It was leverage. And it didn't feel earned. It felt rehearsed. Still, she stayed quiet. Because eventually, she knew. The distance would speak for itself. And then it did. Loudly, in the form of dragon print texts that would end up in court. It was supposed to be just another behind-the-scenes power play, until the text leaked. A single message, pulled from court filings in late 2024, suddenly threw gasoline on a spark that had been quietly smoldering. Blake Lively, texting her director Justin Baldoni, casually referred to herself as Kelce. Yes, as in Game of Thrones, the Dragon Queen. And the kicker, she claimed to have a few dragons of her own. Allegedly, those dragons were none other than Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds. Her husband, her ride or die, her billionaire bestie. The implication was clear. Blake had influence, real influence. And if anyone dared block her rewrites, her vision, or her press narrative,
You ever seen this much Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds in your life?
they'd get scorched. It was meant to stay private, but once that text went public, the internet exploded. Because suddenly, Taylor's name wasn't just in a thank you speech or baby announcement, it was in legal paperwork. Paparazzi noticed the shift almost immediately. Taylor, who once stood front row at Blake's every premiere, began skipping events. Uncharacteristic silences replaced her usual Instagram love. Insiders whispered, Taylor hated being dragged into legal drama. And being labeled a dragon? Not flattering when it's code for weaponized celebrity. But that wasn't even the biggest blow. Because while the text caused a stir, the real explosion came next. Justin Baldoni, fed up with behind-the-scenes chaos, filed a $400 million countersuit. The allegations, defamation, sabotage, corporate bullying, all dressed in couture and masquerading as victimhood. The court documents described a campaign of manipulation, redirections, and reputational landmines.
These just happy photos that just happen to get snapped at the right spot. They are in a massive publicity tour attempting to rebrand the image, and I just find it annoying.
Blake's once perfect PR game was now being dissected in legal language, and Selena's original warning felt less like gossip, more like a prophecy. And just like that, Blake wasn't just a celebrity facing backlash. She was a litigant in one of Hollywood's messiest legal firestorms, with her entire girl-next-door image under cross-examination. And when those courtroom doors opened, the fallout didn't stop with Blake. It started swallowing everyone in her circle. The headlines screamed $400 million lawsuit. But that was just the distraction. Behind the scenes, insiders weren't sweating the number, they were sweating the subpoenas. Because Justin Baldoni's legal team wasn't just suing for defamation, they were coming for receipts. And they wanted everything: Blake's on-set journals, group chats with Hugh Jackman and Taylor Swift, and most dangerously of all, Ryan Reynolds' internal Marvel emails. People close to the case whispered the real warning: no one's safe. If you know something, you're getting subpoenaed, celebrity or not. Suddenly, the drama wasn't just Blake's, it had reached Disney. Why? Because if Marvel's email servers confirm what everyone's been speculating, that Ryan Reynolds based his foul-mouthed, nice pool character on Baldoni, this isn't just petty, it's corporate bullying. And Disney, they don't do scandals, they do fairy tales.
I think it's already backfired, but I think it'll backfire more if they keep showing up to these events and doing all these things. It's like, guys, stay at home for a little bit. Just take a break. Just take a break. It doesn't mean you're losing. It just means we don't want to see you for a little while.
Inside Burbank HQ, execs scrambled to buy time. They quietly filed motions to delay discovery, hoping to stop the subpoenas before they hit inboxes. Meanwhile, fans launched #Mousegate on social media, dragging Mickey Mouse into the mess. The magic was unraveling, fast. And Blake? She wasn't helping. Her narrative shifted by the hour. One day she's the bullied mom fighting online toxicity. The next, she's showcasing dramatic deleted texts, waving them like courtroom trophies. Every update felt like a pivot. Every new statement had people asking, what's the angle now? The result? Her own circle started backing away. Co-stars skipped shoutouts. Friends dodged photo ops. Hollywood, always quick to smell smoke, began looking for the nearest fire exit. Because this was no longer just about bad press or reputation management. Now, it was about whether the most bankable faces in entertainment were dragging a billion-dollar franchise into court. Marvel had spent 15 years building a universe, and suddenly, one sarcastic text thread between Ryan and Blake might blow up the next phase. And just when it felt like things couldn't spiral further, a surprising name cut ties. With one brutal click. April 28, 2025. A tiny shift on Instagram sends shockwaves through pop culture. Travis Kelce unfollows Ryan Reynolds. At first, it feels like a glitch, a mistake, maybe someone hit the wrong button. But within minutes, page 6 confirms it. This was no accident. And just like that, one tap becomes the digital version of a public breakup. Cosmopolitan dives in with the insider scoop.
But it's so obvious that it's just a show. It's a parade right now. And it's not working.
Travis is fed up. He's not playing bros with someone willing to throw Taylor under the bus. Now, let's pause for a second, because this isn't just any celebrity squabble. This is Travis Kelce, the NFL's most wholesome superstar. The guy Swifties love, the guy your parents love. The guy who built his brand on loyalty, authenticity, and never being messy. And when he decides your drama is too toxic to touch, that's not just a red flag. It's a blinking hazard sign with sirens. Sports anchors start analyzing the unfollow like it's Super Bowl film. Marketing executives? They're panicking. If America's golden retriever of football sees Ryan Reynolds as radioactive, then what brand wants to be in the splash zone? Meanwhile, Blake and Ryan roll out the damage control machine. They're suddenly everywhere, smiling in pastel, holding hands like they're auditioning for a Hallmark ad. They hit pizza joints, Broadway shows, rooftop strolls, 6 public outings in a single week. But no one's buying it. The comment sections? Brutal. 90% negative. Fans call it forced, desperate, and embarrassing. Even Daily Mail doesn't bother dressing it up. Just photos. No captions needed, because the pictures say it all. 2 celebrities trying way too hard to look unbothered. And failing. Selena? Silent. Taylor? Still tucked away in Missouri. And the algorithms? They're working overtime, putting that unfollow button on every FYP and Twitter feed in America.
And this can't be anything but really bad for her. Who is advising Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively? They've been out and about non-stop this last week. I think yesterday she was wearing 3 different outfits. She was out again promoting Another Simple Favor at this pizza.
With the public turning colder by the hour, Blake and Ryan do what they always do. Smile harder, pose longer, and sprint into a PR parade no one asked to see. When the public starts pulling away, some celebs go quiet. Blake Lively went full runway, 6 public outings in 7 days, 3 wardrobe changes in one afternoon, from trench coat to sequined mini to a cape fit for a Marvel cameo, all before her iced latte melted. Every sidewalk became a stage. Every camera angle looked choreographed by an overworked publicist with a Pinterest board titled "We're Still Fine." And Ryan, he trailed behind like a malfunctioning wax figure, flashing that same tight-lipped grin that screamed, "Help me!" But instead of restoring their image, it crashed it harder. Reddit threads exploded. Blake's megawatt smile was likened to a broken animatronic. Ryan was dubbed Sad Pool. Even Daily Mail, normally gleeful about glamour shots, ran their photos without captions. Translation, we don't even need to roast this. The image does it for us. And the memes? Ruthless. Clips of Ryan blankly staring while Blake twirled like she was auditioning for Legally Blonde 3, Trial by PR filled TikTok. One popular caption, blink twice if your NDA doesn't cover this. And slowly, a new realization started creeping through the timelines. Maybe Selena wasn't being catty. Maybe she was just early, because everything Blake had built, the mom next door image, the witty fashion icon, the effortlessly relatable girl in heels, was now coming off like a costume, a perfectly stitched, media-trained, algorithm-approved costume. And the public, they weren't buying it anymore. Sponsors started whispering, PR teams grew twitchy.
And the truth is their stock is still very valuable. It is. As I posted in this morning's video, you'll see audiences that saw the movie Another Simple Favor, they still don't really care. Now,
brand execs began doing risk assessments, wondering if a cute handbag photo was worth being tagged in courtroom conspiracy theories. The streets were filled with staged smiles and couture drama. But online, it was a tsunami of snark. And unlike lawsuits, sarcasm doesn't settle. Still, the most brutal blow wasn't a meme or comment. It was a silence, a missing invite, and a birthday that said everything without a single word. April 23rd. Gigi Hadid turns 30 in New York City. The guest list? Straight from a Vogue fantasy? Bradley Cooper, Taylor Swift, every A-lister from the inner circle. Champagne flowed, stories were posted, and yet, one name was conspicuously absent. Blake Lively. Not at the party, not in the photos, not even mentioned. And it gets pettier. That same day, Blake hopped on Instagram to post birthday shoutouts. To her makeup artist, to her trainer. But not to Gigi. Fans noticed. So did the Daily Mail. And in the world of celebrity politics, not saying something often says everything. This wasn't just a snub, it was a glitter-dusted breakup in full public view. Once upon a time, Blake and Gigi were inseparable. Brunches, fashion week, holidays. But now, Gigi's birthday became a litmus test, and Blake failed it. While the party sparkled in New York, Blake was thousands of miles away, posing at a Wrexham soccer match beside mascot suits and PR handlers. Social media kept score. Selena warned, Gigi bailed, Taylor distanced, Travis unfollowed. One by one, the A-list links started snapping. And Hollywood? It noticed. Fast. There's a rule in this town, one rarely spoken but always followed. Reputations rot on contact. And when someone becomes bad press in heels, people don't confront them. They just quietly step away. Agents whispered, maybe skip Blake's event.
He was recording Paul Feig and Anna Kendrick, and I saw in the comment section people were like, wasn't Blake there? Well, she was, of course. She wouldn't miss anything in the world right now for not being included with this cast and being in the public eye.
Stylists passed on dressing her, and over on the set of Another Simple Favor, crew members casually dropped her name from small talk. Not to offend, just to avoid the mess. The ice out was gentle, but undeniable. No public takedown, number canceled, just doors not opening, invitations not sent, calls not returned, and that's the most brutal part. Not the memes, not the trolls, just silence. But the true meltdown wasn't coming from red carpets or birthday lists. It was brewing behind studio walls, where subpoenas were waiting, and a billion-dollar franchise was starting to sweat. Behind the headlines and Hollywood snubs, something far bigger was brewing, inside Disney's boardroom. Justin Baldoni's legal team wasn't just coming for reputations, they were coming for evidence. Subpoenas started flying, and the target wasn't just Blake, it was Ryan Reynolds and Marvel. Baldoni's lawyer sharpened the ask. He wanted proof that Reynolds pitched his nice pool character as a direct shot at him. Just one Slack thread, one offhand email, one producer laughing at a thin-skinned Baldoni joke. That's all it would take to prove this wasn't parody. It was malicious mockery. And if Marvel executives knew about it, if Disney signed off on it, that's no longer a celebrity feud. That's corporate complicity. Suddenly, the Mouse House wasn't worried about Deadpool merch. They were worried about discovery, the legal kind. Sources say Marvel's legal team rushed to file an emergency motion, begging the judge to delay discovery until Ryan's dismissal could be heard. Translation? Please don't make us open the inbox yet. But the court clock keeps ticking. And Disney's worst nightmare isn't a public tantrum, it's a single document, a sarcastic email, a joke that didn't age well, a calendar note that ties them to a lawsuit they wanted no part of. Because if it exists, and it leaks, Phase 7 won't be about the next Avengers.
Message that was brought back to Blake and Ryan: you guys better clear your names. Otherwise, we can't be seen with you, because now you're damaged goods. That's how Hollywood works.
It'll be about how the MCU helped a billionaire actor punch down. Behind closed doors, Disney's PR team prepares 2 different statements. One in case they win, one in case they settle. In both versions, the word bullying is scrubbed completely. They're hoping the public's attention span resets. They're praying no meme goes viral, but they've clearly forgotten the golden rule of the internet. The internet never forgets. Investors groan, fan forums rage, and Disney, once the safest brand in the world, now finds itself tiptoeing through a minefield of sarcasm, subpoenas, and scorched goodwill. And while Marvel's empire starts to tremble, one voice stays eerily quiet. Selena Gomez, the only person who saw the storm coming before a single lawsuit was filed. Selena Gomez didn't need to scream, post, or drop Easter eggs. She simply waited. And now, the chaos unfolding around Blake Lively is saying everything for her. While lawsuits rage, friends disappear, and public opinion turns ice cold, Selena's original move, stepping back, staying silent, and trusting the truth to surface, looks less like a retreat and more like a checkmate. Blake can dress up in couture, Ryan can crack a few carefully scripted jokes, Disney can delay court filings like it's a game of legal Jenga, but none of it stops what's already unraveling. Because once the illusion breaks, once the audience realizes the smiles are rehearsed, once the friends stop replying and the red carpets start feeling empty, no amount of PR magic can glue it back together. Selena never tried to outshine anyone. She just saw the game early and quietly exited the stage. And now, her silence hits harder than any public dragging ever could. It's not a feud, it's a reckoning. So the real question isn't whether Blake Lively can bounce back, it's whether anyone still cares enough to see her try. What do you think? Was this a preventable downfall, or did Hollywood just get its most overdue reality check? Sound off in the comments, and if you're here for the truth behind the glam, subscribe now, because in this town, the spotlight doesn't lie, but it never forgets who stepped into it first.